Hello everyone, my name is Gary. We're going to be playing some Scottish music today. You should go, as I'm about to do, I'm about to share our link for this broadcast on our website. Website is jollyrogerukulele.com. There's about 80 baritone pieces there and 220 or something ukulele pieces, and you should go and read up on what's going on over there. We're having a good week of Celtic music. Today our goal will be to play Will Ye Nigh Come Back Again, which is a nice Scottish tune. And then if there's time, because we're going to work on a specific technique again, we're going to work on what I sometimes call painful uke. And this song is pretty cooperative with painful uke. Not exactly cooperative, but pretty good. And then if there's time, we'll revisit Melville Castle, which we covered on Monday, I think. Monday. So let me make sure that this is updating correctly. Running like molasses. There we go. And then while I'm reloading that, let me go tweet our daily lesson. https://jollyrogerukulele.com, and a little skeleton guy pops up, and then I'm going to go here, Tuff-er, scroll down here, put the Celtic girl on there, tweet. What? I don't like what I did there. Copy. I'm going to delete that. That's not what I wanted to do. Didn't finish. For some reason, it cuts off the name of the title of the thing sometimes. So not that it matters. Nobody's really reading my Twitter, but I feel compelled. Paste. The Scots are storming! Exclamation point. Space. Storming. Let's see, there's that. Now let's put the picture back on. All right. While I'm busy tweeting, you guys get settled in, tuned up, huh? Tweet. All right. Now we're tweeted. All right. Good. We tweeted. Looks like the website must be working. That's why people are wandering in from off the streets. Let me view the page. Scroll down, and there we go. All right, I think we're good. Jolly Roger Ukulele, 760. Okay, good. Hi everybody, how are we? All right, so let me see. Sandy's in Northern Michigan. Sound is good. Gray, cloudy skies. 28 and breezy when it's 28. That's not good. Lynn is back. Hey, Lynn. Bruce is in from Virginia. 57. Great day for baritone. Sherry's in. She's still hanging around the house, drinking whiskey. Hopefully. Ronnie is in, 64, and sunny down in New Mexico. It's just been chilly in Albuquerque the last few days. Amy's in, she's a local. Elizabeth is sort of local. Jack and Barbara are in. Sunny in like capital letters up in Illinois. That's weird for wintertime, right? Terry's in, coming at you from a secure location in Denver, west of Colorado Boulevard, south of Colvag, east of Broadway. All right, Terry, you're finally your secure location is finally approved. It's taken me years to talk Terry into living into a place where rational people live. So he's finally made it to my neighborhood. Let's see, Marianne in another sunny day up in Michigan. I know, right? You guys in the Midwest have sun. That's crazy. Chris is in, hopefully feeling better. Good to see you, Chris. Critter's in from Utah. Let's get jiggy. Rita's in from Illinois. Look at all the Midwesterners are like, you guys, the sun is out here. Nice. Arlo's in. Diane, good. Arlo and Diane are locals here. All right, guys. I want to talk a little bit about the song today. 73 in Florida today. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I obviously did not get done anywhere near as much as I wanted to yesterday. I had to run over to the studio, do some work over there, and then by the time I got home, the world had just drugged me down, and so I did not get nearly enough done last night as I wanted to. However, here's what the thing that I realized. We're going to spend a little bit of time on this tune today. Will Ye Nigh Come Back Again? We're going to be spending a little bit more time on it than usual because I want to talk about a technique that you can use to make your ukulele playing sound ridiculous. And you take my sheet music and you add to it, and that's what I want you to be able to do. And it's usually when we're adding in a new skill, and this isn't really a new skill, we've talked about it before, but when we're working on a skill that you might be a little rusty on, or you might need a little bit extra work on, we try to take a song that's a little more cooperative, a little bit easier to do it, and then you can take that skill and see how it works with your other songs. So grab the Will Ye Nigh Come Back Again sheet music, and let's grab the ukulele version of that. I'll go over the technique with you on ukulele. We'll play through it a few times, and then of course we go and add in the baritone version of this. Now, baritone players, what I'd suggest, treat it as if you'll sound, you're going to be in the wrong key. You and I won't sound great together, but you'll at least learn the skill set, and then when I switch over to baritone, then you'll be like, oh yeah, that's what he was talking about. Okay. So let me tell you about this song first. Why would you do all of these Scottish songs, Irish songs from the old world? Red just walked in. Hold on. Let's put a light bulb. I don't know what the light bulb sounds like. Oh, I like that. That's Red's entry. Isn't that pretty? Okay. Evelyn also made it in. Christine in from beautiful Bozeman. So you guys we're all got sun all over the place. What the heck? All right. So we're having a good day weather-wise after a tough week a couple weeks back, right? Will Ye Nigh Come Back Again? Back in the day when I was playing piano, I was learning to play piano. I was also learning to play golf at the same time. And I read up about this guy, Bobby Jones, who was the greatest golfer of all time. And when he left St. Andrews, they sang this song to him. And so I was like, oh, I want to learn that song on the piano. And of course, I didn't have the skill set or anything. So this has been sitting in my computer for about 30 years. And it's now back. Okay. I love the song for a couple reasons. One, and I did check with Janice who lives in Scotland. She's a real Scottish person. I said, this is what Wikipedia says about this song. This is what I think about this song. And so here's what I'll tell you about this song. One, it is a song that they do know in Scotland. And two, it is still to this day a song that you might sing to somebody when they're departing, right? Or Bonnie Charlie's now away, safely o'er the friendly main. That means he's in Europe. Hearts will almost break in twain. That rhymes with Maine, right? Should he nigh come back again? So when somebody's leaving, you might sing, Will ye nigh come back again? Will ye nigh come back again? Better loved ye cannot be. Will ye nigh come back again? Isn't that cute? So when somebody's departing, you're supposed to sing him this song. So now you have the See You Later song, and it should give you the same general feeling as Old Lang Syne, just not tied to a holiday. And so there's that. Then, so I checked with Janice. I says, do people really sing this when they're going away? And she's like, yeah, it happens. So she knows that. Then the other thing about this is our author, Carolina Nairn, I'm going to say, is a real person, late 18th century, early 19th century poet mostly, but she did write plenty of her own music, and it appears that she wrote the melody to this as well. So song by a woman, right? We don't get a ton of those. And she was, most of you know this, but not everybody, England. Okay, everything in the world is bad, right? You have England here is terrible. As Americans, we know they're just terrible, and so we had to have a revolution. We call it a revolution; they call it an uprising. And so same thing in Scotland, only much worse. And so Scotland wanted to do their own thing, but the Britons were like, "No, you're not." And so, late 17th century. I'm sorry, late 18th century, early 19th century, bunch of skirmishes, wars, depending on, it didn't go well for the Scots, let's put it that way. The Scots are generally Catholic and the English are generally Protestant, so that whole thing is playing into this. And so this is one of these sort of songs built or derived from conflict. Carolina was definitely Scottish, definitely Catholic, and wrote this song. And it's Bonnie Prince Charles. He had to escape from Scotland and go to Europe so as not to be murdered for not tyranny, but for, what do you call that? When you you know what I'm talking about, when you do an uprising and you don't succeed, then you have to run away, and so he ran away to the continent, never made it back, and so they're still waiting for Bonnie Prince Charles to come home. So that's what's going on in the song, I had read on Wikipedia. It says, I hear that that right now there's some discussion about Scotland breaking away from England again because England is breaking away from the European Union through Brexit, and Scotland's not excited about that at all. And so on Wikipedia claims that there's more people singing this song as for Scottish nationalism, but Janice says, who lives in Scotland, she says, I haven't really heard much about that. So we'll take Janice's word that it's not really being used as a right now. But anyway, kind of fun to think about. All right, so let's dig into it from a ukulele perspective, right? That's the background on the song. Probably way more than you need, but a lot of times there's so many great songs from Scotland and Ireland that sometimes you kind of need a reason to pick them if you don't live there. And same thing happens with South American music. There's just so much incredible South American music that we kind of have to have a reason to play it. So like Girl from Ipanema, we play it because it's about a girl walking on the beach in a bikini. Oh yeah, we like that, so let's play that. Same with Spanish guitar, right? There's a ton of incredible Spanish guitar, and it all starts to kind of sound the same, and so you try to pick and choose which songs you play and attach a story to them. Same thing with lute music. All of the lute music sounds exactly like all of the other lute music, so we go play Jonathan Dowland because he's the earliest and the best is what we tend to think. So, all right, lots and lots of stuff to think about with this song. Let's dig into the specifics here. Let's see. Kari made it in. Hey, everybody. One day, second shot. One day into the second shot. A slight headache so far. Oh, good, Kari. 2 shots. Nice. Linda, 84 degrees. Linda's in Maui, right? She could be having a hurricane in Maui, and it would be better than most of the weather that we have. Let's see. Oh, Eugene is foggy today. Laurel is in, getting the second shot. Laurel's getting her second shot today. Awesome. All right. I love hearing about you guys getting your first and second shots. That makes me happy. Will ye nigh come back again? All right. G chord. C chord. G chord. Over to your D chord. And I think, we got a D7 at measure 8. Okay. That's it. So we like the fact that these old traditional tunes don't have a ton of chords in them, because then it puts it on you to turn it into something. Now, I want to play through the melody so you guys get a sense of what this is. You probably haven't heard it before. Most Americans have not. And so let's go play through it. When you don't know a melody, well, obviously, first resource, MP3 on the website. Go there. Use that resource. I don't put that up there on accident. It's very, very valuable. And so if I put a song up on this site, you're like, I don't know that song, your first thought is, I don't want to do that. I would way rather do Eleanor Rigby again, because I know how that song goes, but that's not the right way to think as a musician. The right way to think is, here's a song I don't know. Gary thinks it's good enough to post it. Let's go figure out what's going on with it. And so use that MP3 player as your resource. Let's make me your MP3 player right now, and let's play the melody. And then when you're playing a melody you don't know, you really do have to take advantage of the standard notation up there. Let the notes tell you how long they are. Otherwise, you're just plucking at it. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 0, 2, 3, 0, 3, 2. 5, 7, 5, 2, 2, 0, 0. 3, 0, 2, 3, 0, 3, 2. 5, 7, 5, 2, 0, 3, 3. Here's your chorus. 2, 5, 5, 5, 2, 5, 5. Slide up. 10, 9, 7, 5, 7, 5, 2, 0, 2, 2, 0, 3, 0, 3, 2, 7. Okay. First time you encounter melody, you're like, that doesn't mean anything to me. I've been playing, I've known about this song for, like I said, 30 years or so. And so I kind of have a sense of how it's supposed to go. But I am absolutely looking up at the standard notation as I'm playing, trying to get it close for you guys. And of course, I'm failing in certain places, not playing an eighth note fast enough, or playing too fast through a dotted quarter note. And I think a lot of times we don't spend enough time talking about the standard notation. It doesn't matter what the note is. It matters how long to hold that note. The tablature tells you what note to play, but it doesn't tell you how long to hold it. So use that standard notation to your advantage. Okay, now let's combine it together. We're going to learn the tough uke, and then I want to go through and talk about turning it into a painful uke, or how you would take this and make it even better. Okay, so grab your G chord, 0, 2, 3. Okay, just play with your thumb right now. Play the 0, and then in full G chord, hit the 3, and then 0, 0, 0, hit the 3, and then 0, 2. That is a G chord, even though it doesn't seem like it. Now go grab a full G chord, pinky on 5. This is always hard. Slide up to 7, and then slide right back to 5 with the G chord, and then lift up your pinky. G chord on 4. Open up your middle finger, and then a D chord, and then a pretty turnaround G chord, middle finger, back, hit the 3, 0, 0, 0, 0, 2. Okay, 5, 3, G chord with a 5, slide up, slide back, lose your pinky, D7, 3. And while you're grabbing that 3, you're magically moving these fingers away from your D7 to the G. Okay. Now, one of the things I do, and this is a challenge with this instrument, on piano it doesn't matter, right? Wherever you want to play the melody, it's going to be fine, because you've got more octaves going that way and more octaves going that way. But on ukulele, you have to make choices. This song starts a little bit low because geez Louise, measure 11, we're going to go all the way up to 10. So it's a big song. It's got a lot of breadth from the low note, which is a D, all the way to the high note, which is a G. And so you're going to use every melody note on this instrument from here to here. So it barely, a lot of times the traditionals we think, oh, it'll just fit nice and neatly down here. This one does not. And so you've got to be thinking about, all right, what key can I put it in? I tried to put it in D, I tried to put it in A. Finally, on G, it fit onto the ukulele pretty nicely. Okay, next, here we go. From measure 9, play. G chord, more pinky, with that right, and then you're going to slide up. So, when you're in foundations class, they say don't use the same finger, don't slide it around, cut your finger open. By now, hopefully, you've got enough calluses on your ends of your fingers that's no longer an issue. And when you get a 5, you want to slide up to the 10. Okay, so let's try that from measure 9. Go. And then 9, 7. 5. Back to 7. Kind of lands, right? And then here's the weird part, this chord. 7. And that 2 is either going to send you back to the top or send you on to the ending. Now there's 5 verses on here. We will never play this more than twice through, but because I don't think I don't think in Scotland they know the other verses either. But there they are. A lot of times poets, right? They write their poem out. They put the first line to melody, and then they assume you're going to study the other verses. You're not on this one. You're going to play the first line, and that's it. But I did want to talk briefly, when you get to 12 and you're busy, you're playing along in the key of G and you're just happy as all get out, and you get to the C, and then you get to the D chord, and then measure 13, there's a G7. It sounds wrong because you're putting the main chord, which is G major, now you're tossing in a G7. If it's the 5th, if you're playing in the key of C, that's a very normal thing to do. You won't even be surprised that it shows up. But when you the main chord is G, and now you're going to throw a G7, it's going to sound weird. And so when you have a weird sound like that on a piece of music, you want to take that as information from the composer, not necessarily the arranger. Who cares what Gary thinks? What matters is the composer put in this 7th chord to compete against the main chord, and so that's a moment in the song where you da dum da dum dum, and so that's going to be a moment you want to put some emphasis on. And usually when you're creating emphasis around a particular moment in a song, you don't necessarily want that super decorated. You might tighten things up and just play what's on the paper. The rest of the song is exactly what you'd think it'd be, so that might be an area where you start thinking about decorations. All right, so let's play it through at a little bit higher speed, a little more consistently, just one time through from the top, and then you'll get a sense of how the song's going, and then we're going to go back through and we're going to put some work in on it. Okay, so from the top, just use your thumb right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. The song you got. Okay, maybe you know it, maybe you don't, probably don't. That's what we're dealing with now. We know we can play these chords. We know we can play the melody. Melody gets a little dicey in a couple places. The first time when it's going from this G chord with a pinky up to that 7 and back, I'm finding that a little bit challenging to play. And then I'm also playing when it gets up to the 10. I'm trying to memorize. Oh, and then it's that 9. How weird. What are we doing with a 9? Right? Why do we have this 9 here? It seems like an odd choice to have an F sharp there, but it is what it is. And then E, F sharp. I guess it shows up. And then the other place I think is challenging is at measure 12, you don't want that 7 to linger, which I keep doing. So when you get to 11, you see you're starting off with an 8th note on measure 7, measure 12. It starts with an 8th note on the 7. Okay, so don't linger on that one. In fact, I'm going to make myself a note, 1/8, and point it at it, right? To go quickly through there. And then when you get to 13, that seems wrong, but it is. Okay, and again, don't linger on it too much. If you get those 8th notes right, you're probably going to sound a whole lot more. It's going to sound a little bit cooler. And then 13 through 16 just recapitulates the main idea of the song. So now, we know how to play the tough axe, tough uke, more or less. We know how to play the melody, more or less. We know what the chords are, more or less. Let's turn it into something. Okay. Let's see. But Vic is down. She's into the song. All right, nice. So when we're going to turn it into something, guys, you're these people, okay? And so let's take a minute to talk about how to turn it into something beyond. Like, I get notes all the time, Gary, I want to do classical music on ukulele. You think you do. What you really want to do is play in a classical style in songs that are way better than most classical music. And so we have this sort of standard list of classical music songs that everybody wants to play. What if we took the techniques that we would use on that song and put it onto something that's not typically classical? Then you're actually creating something beautiful with this instrument. So this is not a classical piece of music by a long shot. Late 18th century, early 19th century, little lady writing poetry under an assumed name, by the way, and competing against Burns, who's the national poet of Scotland for ever, apparently, and so she's busy writing tunes and of course trying to beat him out at the polls. So we want to take that, let's put our best claw positioning into this and turn it into something. How do you do that? Grab your G chord. Your first note is 0, 2, 3, right? And it's supposed to last for 3 eighth notes, okay? All I'm going to do is bring in my index and middle finger again to get the next 2 eighth notes. Now I got a 0 there. Okay, that's an eighth note, and go right back into my G chord. That's a quarter note, so I'm going to hit either my index or my middle, doesn't matter. Probably my index because my next note is on my middle finger of this 3. So I'd rather not play the same note twice in a row. It's normal. You'll see in lots of my arrangements where I do 2 notes in a row, mostly because I'm trying to keep the pitch down below the melody. Okay, so your melody is. So any accompaniment or any sort of other notes that I throw in, I'd like them to be below those notes. And ukulele presents a unique situation because you got this daggone high string here, and so sometimes you're limited. On baritone, I don't run into that problem. I can always hit this 4th string. It's always going to be lower than the melody. But on ukulele, you got to be a little smarter. Okay, so not that dumb people play baritone, but arrangers would way rather. It's way easier to play. When you have lower notes. On piano, arranging is stuck soup. You put the melody here, put whatever you want to over here, and it will always work. On ukulele, you got to be a little more wise. Okay, so let's play just the first measure. Add in a note after on every eighth note. So you go plunk, 2, 3, oh, plunk, index, 3, index. Okay, so all I'm doing is trying to keep an extra. Anytime that there's an eighth note, I'm going to put a sound in there. Okay, and I want that sound to be lower than the melody notes surrounding it. One more time, we'll play all the way in through measure 2, and we'll see what happens at the end of measure 2. Go. 3, open. put your G chord on. Now you have, after that half note there, after you play now away, you're going to have 3/8 notes that are going to follow that half note. Okay, so you play blunk, and then your melody notes is 2. Right? There's nothing on your instrument that's lower than that by still holding the chord. So now instead of trying to just dum bum bum bum, which would be very boring, now just go ahead and put a flourish in there. Bum, middle, index. Index, middle, ring. Okay, now you hit that note. That pulls you over into the next measure. Put your G chord on with your pinky at measure 5. Okay, pluck, and then you have 2/8 notes following that, and then a 7, and then you got to get back. So at 5, I would go 8th note, 7, right back to the 5. You got it as a quarter note, so you can hit any string after that, and then a 2, and any other note, and then a G chord, 2/8 notes after, middle finger up, D chord. Okay, your melody note's an A, so you're going to get away with anything, but I would probably go with index, middle, index, probably. Okay, so hit that D chord at the end of 4. Put your G chord back on at 5. 2/8 notes follow. Open middle. Put it back down. Any note. Hit the 3. Any note. C chord. Any note. 3. Any note. G chord. Just 0-2. Little flourish here. There's 3/8 notes that follow every half note. And then G chord with the pinky at 7. 2/8 notes follow. Hit the 7. Bring it back. 2. Another note. D7 is a dotted quarter, so you got 3/8 notes here. Hit the 3 and G chord. Little flourish. Oops, sorry. I was getting excited. I'm like, oh, I just crossed the double bar. Very good. The challenge with this song, once you cross the double bar, it actually gets harder. Okay? So you're going to grab your G chord at 9. And you got all quarter notes in this measure, so every other note, you're going to grab a decoration. Okay? G chord, index, pinky, decoration, chord, decoration, pinky, decoration, lose the pinky, 2 decorating. This is cool. 5. Slide up to your 10. 2 decorations. 9. 7. Decoration. 5. Decoration. And then don't decorate it here, right? This is where we were talking about because of that G7 coming in. You probably want to simplify here. Maybe decoration in that after that half note, and then 13. Okay, and then go grab your 7s. 2 decorative notes. G chord with your pinky. No pinky. Decoration. D7, dotted quarter. Okay, and then I usually, at the end of the last note, I usually don't add in a ton of decoration at the end of something. I usually simplify it as I'm getting ready to either exit the song or make my return, because I want to simplify there so that I have time to get back on to turn my page or whatever I need to do. I don't want to have too much there, or I'm going to blow it probably. All right, so I'd like to go through and play it just one last time through on ukulele, then we'll play it a couple times on baritone. The big message I'm trying to give to you is lots of you guys are working at a level where we're still working on chords, right? And so you're not thinking about anything that I just said. You're thinking about, I want to play this as a chord piece. Ba-da-dum-dum-dum-da-dum. Dum da dum dum dum. that's good, right? That's something you want to work on. Some of you guys are newer. We're just trying to get the melody done. Some of you guys really are getting pretty comfy with tough axe or tough uke. What instrument is this? Tough uke, right? And tough uke is meant to be the end of the game, right? It's meant to be, hey, you can play tough uke with your thumb only for the rest of your life. Every single day, Gary's throwing more music at us. We'll be fine, right? You will never have to learn to play another way. And then there are a few of you who are like, you know what? I'm ready to go to the top. I'm ready to crank it up. I want to get really solid with my claw, and then I want to put as much decoration into these as possible. And that's when you get to finger style or classical, is depending on it. If you're playing an old-fashioned song, it's classical. If you're playing a new song, it's called finger style. So stupid, guys. It's the same exact procedure, same exact method. And so once you are able to then take the tough uke and then decorate it in the way that you find meaningful, all of a sudden your music starts to be really beautiful, but it's your music and not necessarily anybody else who play it exactly like you do. And that's, of course, once you're doing that, you're doing your own arrangements, you're feeling like, hey, I know how to take Gary's tough uke and turn it into something. Then you'll start being like, I don't need Gary anymore, I'm just going to play. Of course, creating your own arrangements and then ultimately writing your own music. Hopefully I give you enough music theory to get you started in that direction as well. Maybe not. Let's play it one last time through. Don't do the repeats. Just go all the way to the end and see how much decoration you can get in. I'm going to go nice and slow to give us a shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Strum at the end. Okay, or just use your regular G chord. Either of those work, that would be something I would be working toward. I know we spent a little bit more time on that than we typically would a song, but I don't want painful you to get too far away from us at any point, because some of you are thinking, yeah, I want to play classical music. Now, I don't know if you do. Okay? I think you want to use classical technique to play songs, and especially on this instrument. This instrument does fine with classical music, but classical music always makes sense, right? That's 300 years old. They've gotten rid of all of the weird stuff. When you get to folk music, where there's all sorts of stuff that makes no sense, there's no reason to have a G7 at measure 13, and yet there it is, and it gives you an opportunity to really grapple with how you would fix that into some sort of meaningful thing. Let's go grab our baritones. Same exact thing, okay? Different chords. And so, this is ukulele. Let's go grab baritone. There we go. and go grab. Now, if you're on ukulele, you're like, okay, that hurt my head. I'm just going to play chords now. Okay? And that's what we want. All right. Ukulele, you got your D chord, got your G chord, got your A chord. Is that it? I think. Oh, and you got an A7, right? Nancy's like, gosh, that's really pretty. Yeah, that's one of the challenges with Scottish and Irish music is everything is beautiful. And you're like, well, since I don't live in Scotland or Ireland, I don't really know these, so how would I go about picking them? And so I do have the list that I have on the front page that I'm hoping to get to before St. Patrick's Day gets here. They're all good. They're all good. I found out one of them is from a show called Outlander, which I have never seen. But anytime that I see something that's a theme from a movie or a television show, it piques my interest because that means it's Hollywood approved. And so I can't remember which one of those songs is from Outlander, but I will. I'm now all motivated to learn more about it. Let's do one more time. Baritone, same exact program. Okay. Linda says, "I'm not crazy about classical." Well, it's again, the music is good, right? Classical music's good, but the problem we get into is there's about, we all want to do. If you're thinking, oh, I want to do Tchaikovsky, well, you do Sugar Plum Fairy, right? And we don't think any more deeply about it than that. And I want to play some Beethoven. Well, we forget that everything in Beethoven makes sense. Everything. I mean, he was absolutely took music theory and fixed it, and we're still living off of that. And so it's not that I'm against classical music. I'm against the idea. I'm not against anything. I'm not against anything. I'm for the idea of taking the techniques and tools that we would use to create classical music and bringing that to a new way, bringing it to songs we might not necessarily think about as classical. All right, let's make this happen. Am I lined up in the screen pretty good? I gotta adjust some things here. It seems like I got this computer at a little bit of an angle for I have no idea why, and I'm gonna have to make some adjustments here. All right, let's see. Sky, yeah, the Skyboat song. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I had never heard that song prior to you guys telling me about it, and then I start diving around, and I was like, it's from a show Outlander, and I'm like, oh, what's that about? So I spent too much time watching trailers from Outlander. All right, let's make this happen. Willie and I come back again on baritone, and same exact thing, not fast. Those of you on ukulele, maybe you're adding in just a beautiful arpeggio, 8-beat arpeggio there, but let's see how that sounds. See where we make some sense. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I messed up already. 1, 2, 3, 4. So hopefully that gives you a few new tools, a few new ideas, a new ways of thinking about, hey, when I get a piece of sheet music, I don't got to play it fast. I don't have to play it at any certain speed. I want to slow it down and use the skills and tools that I've already got in my quiver to maybe turn it into something that it wasn't planned on being. This is sort of a celebration, right? Dum 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 dum. Right? We'll slow it down. We'll turn it into a ballad. Turn it into a classical music piece, and it ends up sounding really nice. Guys, I am running behind on time these days, and so we'll see how much I can on the front page I can get posted, and what I get to, I get to. We're at that point. I'm at that point. I'm like, I don't know. I'll get you what I can, so yeah. You got plenty of good music already from last week and this week to play, and so if you need to grab some of last week's music, it's on the baritone and ukulele tab, so you can go grab that. And then we'll keep this going clear up to St. Patrick's Day, and then what I need to do, I need to go back into the baritone and ukulele tab and look at the book 2 stuff. A bunch of it doesn't have baritone music attached to it yet, and I want to do some of that, and it'll be a chance for us to revisit a lot of that music we've already worked on a little bit. And this summer, I think we're going to be looking at work on lead sheets, which means I give you a melody and the chords, and then we work together at your level, whatever level you happen to be playing at, to turn it into something. What I'm kind of pushing toward is there's a lot of music that you guys like that I think is horrendous, and I don't want to work on it. But and so if you know how to create music from a lead sheet and a piece of and the chords in the lead sheet, if you know how to turn that in there, you can start writing, or at least not necessarily writing, but at least creating your own arrangements of stuff. And I think that's the next level for most of you guys that have been around for the last year. Is you're like, you know what, I'm playing okay. I got the big idea here. Let's get you where you are just able to sit down with a fake book and turn it into stuff. And so that's the start. That's where I'm kind of pushing toward for the summertime. And this fall, I'm looking, those of you guys that are in the nighttime class on Monday nights, I'm going to continue pushing toward that. I would love to have an entire a really solid jazz set of world classic type things on ukulele that we could make ourselves proud that we've created something beautiful out of. So that's where my brain is going right now. Not sure how much of any of that is going to happen, but my real brain is like, when can I get? No, I have 2 shots, so I can go talk to somebody face to face again. That's the other place my head is going. So hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I will see all of you tomorrow. As I say all of the time, the only difference between people who are really good players and people who don't play is they kept showing up. And you don't even need to practice, but you got to keep showing up and you'll get good. If you practice, you'll get really good, right? So that's it. Guys, have a wonderful day. Be safe. Be good. Get your shots. Try to do a random act of kindness for somebody once in a while. Practice and show up. If you are logged in, if you like and subscribe, I win a free. They give me a DeLorean if you do that enough, and that's what I know about. Let me see who's checking out here. Ronnie says that's another good piece to practice. To practice bar chords. Another good piece of practice. Oh yeah, right. That's not a bad idea. Toss in some bar chords on that one. See, yeah, right. Different, interesting. That's an interesting idea, Ronnie. Sandy says she says it's beautiful. Look, it is. Thanks, Chris. Good to see you. Metzger. There you go. Every time I see her name in chat, I have to make a sound effect. Fran, see you again on Monday. We'll be camping. Ghost down near Death Valley this weekend. Really? That sounds fun. I'm a little jealous, Fran. Have a blast. Linda, good practice. It's something different, right? Ronnie, one arrangement a day is just perfect for me. One arrangement a day. I usually am writing about 7 on the weekends, and so I'm trying to get them all done for the weekend. Sometimes I fail. Sherry, good to see you. I hope you're feeling better. Terry, good to see you, buddy. Lynn, what a day. All we ask is 365 songs a year. Kari, you're welcome. I know Kari's been doing a ton of stuff with arpeggio picking and that sort of stuff, and so I think of you, Kari, when I'm writing out these crazy things. Ronnie, repetition is very helpful. Good, good. Elizabeth, everyone will have shots by the end of May in the United States. That's what they're telling us. Let's hope that that's true. We would be nice to be able to go to lunch with a few of you. Lynn, I'll see you tomorrow. Nancy, take care. Amy, good to see you. Ronnie, have a wonderful day as well. Barbara and Evelyn, okay, you guys have a good day. I'm going to pull the plug, and I will talk to all of you guys soon.